All right. I'm going to kick the recording off here and we can get started. So thank you guys for coming. Shim and Yaya and Crab and Libby and Zach. We are going to be transitioning our community calls to once a month instead of twice a month, which I don't think anyone will be super upset by, because that will mean that our community calls will kind of be more of new feature announcements and kind of recaps more than like bringing in kind of guest speakers. We'll still do the guest speakers occasionally whenever we've got an interesting topic or an interesting collaboration opportunity. But Zach and I kind of discussed it and decided that moving to a monthly instead of a bi-weekly makes a little more sense for us. Or I guess twice a month. So without much further ado, I just wanted to kick off with our agenda here. So the agenda is to go and we're going to talk a little bit about MCon. We're going to give a really brief update on our retreat that we went on right ahead of MCon. We'll walk through some new features, and then we will tease a little bit of the stuff that is going to be coming really, really soon. So if that sounds good to everybody, then we can get started. Or if anyone has anything else that they'd kind of like to talk about here. Hey, Rake, how are you?
Hey, Reese, what's up?
Not much. All right. So let's kick it off. So the team, I don't know if you guys followed us on Twitter at all, but the team made it to Denver for MCon earlier this month. And for those of you who don't know what MCon is kind of a really DAO-centric conference. And so it's a conference that's really focusing on like DAO tooling, on DAO operations, and the kind of people who are in DAOs. And we had the opportunity to sponsor MCon this year. And that got us a booth, and it got us the opportunity to really meet and greet a whole lot of the DAO native folks, from people like Orange to Cabin to Meta Factory. Like there were a bunch of people who are there who are kind of DAO natives, and so that was a really exciting place for us to be. That we got to hang out with a bunch of people who are like kind of avid users of Coordinape, and people who even in the DAO space hadn't heard about Coordinape. So that was a good time for us to kind of meet and greet and get all that taken care of. One of the other things that I'm hoping Zach's mic is working so he can kind of give us a little bit more information on is we collabed with Cabin DAO, which is kind of a working space, kind of co-living, co-working tool, or not tool, but DAO, that has houses that people can come in and they can stay and work together. But we collabed with them on their room that was kind of I don't know, Zach, how would you phrase what Cabin did for us, or what we did with Cabin?
Yeah, we did a thing with Cabin in the room. It was essentially a series of connection and coherence activities. So I don't know, am I having a big echo? I hear one for myself, but am I coming through okay?
That's my fault.
Okay, all good. Yeah, so we were looking, usually when people show up at conferences, they're super keen to have to meet other people there and talk to other people. So we just created a series of activities that foster that kind of connection. And obviously Coordinape is a lot about how do you build a culture of connection and reward and thanks and giving. And Cabin, as building a decentralized city, obviously connection and coherence really important to them as well. So we've collabed with Cabin on a number of different events, on DAO Camp, on MCon, and we'll probably continue to. We have a lot of alignment between what we're all about. So yeah, that was the room, was really trying to make a space where conference participants could kind of dive deeper and do things like should tell life stories about. We did a thing with hot takes and and sort of, do you agree or disagree? And people would move to different parts of the room, and then have a conversation about, like, for example, like decentralization is like a core tenet of Web3, and have people sort of agree or disagree. Those kind of things. That's what happened in the room. We had, I'd say, about 140 people came through and did activities. They were kind of throughout the day, and I got pretty good feedback on it.
Yeah, I had several people come through, and they were kind of raving about, like, oh man, you got to go check out that room thing. So that seemed to be something that was really fun. Question for you is, what was your favorite hot take that somebody in the room had?
I mean, that's tough because I was facilitating different sessions, so I actually wasn't facilitating when they did the hot takes in the room. But it sounded like a big one was there was a VC. There shouldn't be any VC money in Web3. Like, Web3 should be bootstrapped so that it can be independent, which is a pretty hot take. I guess that resulted in some extended conversation, but that's one that I heard about.
Fun. So all of that to kind of say, like, if you have a chance to make it to IMCON next year, or really to kind of any conference where you can really meet the people who you're working with, I think that is something that is it's hard to replicate digitally, and to that end, that kind of lends us to our retreat. So before we went to IMCON, we had a retreat. So we kind of got together, and we had a chance to meet several of the team for the first time, like, in person. So we're no longer just looking at each other over Zoom. We had the chance to see each other and to hear each other kind of laugh and like figure out what is funny. And also we had the pleasure of having Graf. He was a very, very good cook, and that was probably one of our best meals that we had the whole time that we were in Colorado. But that was a pleasure. And then also, kind of at the retreat, we had talked about being able to finally get past some of these bigger milestones. Like, we launched Vaults this last month. We kind of made a ton of headway on the 1.5 redesign stuff. And one of the things where we really connected with each other around was being able to finally come out from behind these really big objects, these really big design things, and these really big, like, efforts with vaults and those designs. And now we are pretty excited to be able to start spinning out new designs and new tools that we want to build into Coordinape. Like, we want to make Coordinape easier to use, more fun to use, give the admins and the users things that make their jobs easier. So that's a bunch of stuff to be looking forward to there. Any of the other team who got the chance to go to the retreats want to chime in there before we move on?
It was my first time meeting most of the crew, and I really enjoyed it. It was really like a magical and special experience for me. So they all know how much I appreciated it, but I just want to say it again. And it's cool to be on the call here with some of you community members. I haven't that yet. Like, what's up? And I think I've met some of you other people.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for all your...
It's very nice to hear your voice. Thank you so much.
I'll just say that I'm a huge proponent of IRL gatherings, and I think that most decentralized teams now will fall into a rhythm of trying to get together 2 or 3 or 4 times a year to kind of sync up, decide on what we're going to work on, and then go work on it together. Someday I hope that we're able to have a retreat that is more like a big community bash and invites several of community members in addition to core team. That's something to dream about. Maybe our first Costa Rica retreat will just invite anyone who's available. We'll see.
Ooh, that sounds super fun. Okay, cool. So that was kind of the event side of things, and now I think we want to take a chance to run through a bunch of the designs that we had tweeted about, but we really didn't get a chance to kind of walk the community through. So without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen here, and we can kind of come and walk through what's going on here. So the big thing that we released recently was our vaults, and we'd been working on vaults for a really long time, and to have them finally launched is great. What vaults do is they enable your DAO to kind of escrow funds, so they can set like either stable coins or ETH or YFI or really any token that you want to. You can deposit funds into a vault as a DAO, and then you can use those funds to distribute to your team. One of the really cool things that we enabled was the ability to deposit those funds into a Yearn vault, so that your payroll is not just sitting there kind of stagnant. So if you wanted to, you could come into your circle and you could go in and you could create a vault, and you can choose which tokens you want to deposit in here. And so if you do this co-vault, it's just going to be like a basic escrow. These coins are just going to sit there, and they're going to wait for you to deposit them or distribute them. And you can use these kind of common ones here, or you can use any ERC20 token. The Yearn vaults are a little bit more bougie, so you can put funds into here, and these funds are going to be farmed within Yearn and gain a little bit of interest while they're out there. And once the epic is over, you can come into the image. Let me see where that's at. Come to our which one? So we can come in here and we can do the review and the export. And if I had a vault set up, we could select the vault that we wanted to pay out, and then we can decide how much funds we want to pay to this circle. So if we wanted to pay this circle out, we could say, all right, we're going to do 5,000, and then we could there'd be a distribute button, and we can click distribute, and then those funds would automatically be ready for the users to claim. So they could come out and they could claim these funds. But if they didn't claim these funds, and you did another epoch, then there would just be more funds available for them to claim. And they can do that as long as they want to. If they don't ever want to claim, then those funds will sit in that vault, and they'll just, if they're a Yearn vault, they'll just continue gaining interest and growing, or if they until they claim. And if they're not a Yearn vault, then they'll just sit out there safe, locked in the contract, waiting for that user to claim those funds. The other thing that we rolled out with vaults was fixed payments. And fixed payments are a tool within a tool within the admin settings. So you can select paid people who are going to get paid out in either a vault or any one of these tokens. So if you want to pay out in just a random token, you just leave this as none and then fill out this token name. And then like if you wanted to do it off chain and not through the vault, you could do it that way. Or if you wanted to do it with the vaults, you could come in here and you could pay out this way. And then on your members area, you can come out here and we could say we're going to pay, oh look, he is getting a fixed payment already. So you can come in and you can set their fixed payment amount. And so this payment amount is the equivalent of salary, and users can come out and set this individually for each person. And then at the end of each epic, those funds will be set aside to distribute to the users. And if you're using the vaults, then that will kind of happen automatically for you. If you're not using the vaults, then this will be included in your CSV so that you know how much you need to pay these people. And you can pay them in 2 tokens. So you can use the vaults to pay in one token, and you can use a fixed payment to pay in a different token if you wanted to. So, for example, one of the ways that we are using this is that we're getting paid fixed payment in USDC, and then we are doing the vault payment in our like kind of placeholder, like this is how much equity or whatever is happening in your. That's kind of the 2 token model we've seen used in other DAOs as well. Another thing that we rolled out was the way to onboard people, and this has been a big boost. Being able to add members with either the ETH address. So this is kind of matches the old way that we used to do things. So being able to add them like name and ETH address, but now instead of just one at a time, you can do several. Like you could put in several names and several ETH addresses, kind of as many as you wanted to here. And that makes things pretty fast on that front. But one of the even cooler things is being able to send them a magic link. So you can copy this magic link, send it to your team and say, hey, we're spinning up a coordinate circle. If you want in, like, go to this link and then fill this thing out. And so that adds people to this circle just by them clicking it, which is super cool. And then we've got the CSV import. So if you already have a list of your users and their addresses, you can just upload your CSV. And if you want to make sure that you get the right format, you can download this sample. It's just username and ETH address, and then you can drag that sucker in there, and then all of those users who are in that CSV will be added to your circle. So that making it easier to onboard people, like this is in that theme. Like, how can we make the admin's life easier? How can we make like paying your team easier? Like these are all very much aligned with like how do we make any questions or comments after those features? I know several of us worked on them, so they may not be as new to you if you've already seen them and helped push some of the issues across for them. All right, sweet. So that is what we have pushed recently. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about
Ray.
Yeah, go for it, Graf.
Yeah, a new give flow just got launched too. I think it's live now.
I was going to show them on. You stole my spoiler.
I think it's on main. I think it's on project.
Oh, let me check.
I merged it, so I merged it.
There's no epic scheduled. You need to be in one that's got an epic going.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was going to show you guys.
Pretend I didn't say anything. Just start over. Pretend I didn't say anything. What were you going to say, Race? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, great prompt. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a teaser here. So if you see this awesome blue bar up top, this is meaning that we're trying a new thing, and we're learning a little bit from our past pushes where we change things and then don't really notify people, and then people get confused because that is normal. So we have added this blue bar to the top here, which is we're working on our new Give experience. And so we're going to try it because obviously we're going to try it. This is our community call. And you see the URL here is this Give beta. And so what we have here is kind of a redesigned way to do your allocations. And there's a lot that's going on here. So you can see we've kind of moved some of our give, like this is how much give you have left to distribute. We've added this distribute evenly button, which used to be, let me see if I can go back. Okay, that used to be the little what's it called? The scales. You used to be able to click the scales and do that, but we've moved this to a button. We've added the collaborators, which just is now kind of taking the place of selecting your team. So the people who you're working with are your collaborators, and then or you can toggle back to the all members. And we've added just a new layout for you to come in and look at all this. So what we can do here is we can come in and we can say, okay, I'm going to leave some feedback. I'm going to say, sweet new features. And I'm going to give you the other half of my give. And you see, we are saving changes. We've added autosave like this. There's a lot of little nuggets of coolness that are laying in the side of this thing. So then we can go to the next contributor. So we might need to look at that because the note persisted. But you can toggle through your contributors here. You can leave notes for all these people, and if their contributions, this would be like the things that they said that they'd done. Like this is kind of a test circle, so nobody's filled this out. Click through here.
Their contributions input UI hasn't launched yet. So right now I think that would maybe only be things from D-Work until we get the contributions UI in.
Yeah, and that's following shortly on the heels here of this release. But that's just kind of a new way to come in here and fill this all out. If we wanted to, I'm going to back this out here. So we're going to leave ourselves 10, and I'm going to click this distribute evenly. So what it did was it took those remaining 10 and it allocated 1 to all the rest of the people who were eligible to receive a give. Because I know sometimes we get to the point where it's like, oh man, I've just got it tweaked just the way that I want it, but I still have 4 or 5 give to kind of figure out how to allocate. And with that, you can click this distribute evenly, or maybe you want to start off with the table leveled with everybody having the same amount, and then you can click distribute evenly there, and it would just evenly allocate to everybody, and then you can make your adjustments after that. Lots more to come on this front, but for the people who are seeing it for the first time, what do you think?
Seems neat.
Fire.
Lots of credit to Graf here. He ground on this for a long time. I saw several messages of him like posting at like 2:30 in the morning, my time, which is, I don't know what time that is your time, but posting like super late at night, and then saying that he was going to go to bed at like when I was waking up. And we are both in the same continent, so that is a brutal task, but very much appreciated.
Thanks, Reese. One of the reasons this is like kind of beta-y is that it's so fundamental to how Coordinape works that allocate can, we didn't want to be disruptive about it. And also, there's a couple things that are like you can do in the old version, like some filtering and searching kind of stuff, sorting that we didn't add yet. So those will be coming soon.
Awesome. Like I said, there's a lot more to come here. There's several kind of similar level developments that are, I feel like, pretty close based on the activity that I've been kind of watching on contributions and allocations. Like this is going to get a lot more polished, and hopefully if you guys are out there using this and you notice things or you've got feedback for us, use that this little guy right here in the corner to like let us know. So just send us some feedback. Let us know what you're thinking and what you think we can fix, and we will do our best to make it happen. Any final thoughts, final passing words?
the feedback method, which you just asked for in order to just like suggest something.
Did it not work for you?
No, it's working. I'm just giving you the heads up.
Oh, baller. Thanks. Well, guys, that is a really brief community call, but we'll catch you again later next month with some more hopefully sweet features to kind of announce. You guys definitely got a little bit of alpha because we haven't even tweeted about this yet. I think we're still scheduling those tweets and crafting them now. So feel free to rest easy knowing that you've got some alpha.
Thanks, Reese.
Thanks, Reese. Nice presentation. Thank you.
Right.
Nice.
Well, we'll see you guys later. I appreciate you hopping in and joining us.
Bye bye.